Welcome to another marvelous episode of CFB Nation, hosted by me, Lover KT, a.k.a. the Governor of College Football. And, of course, with me today, I got Nino, a.k.a. the Mayor. Nino, what's happening?
What's popping? He's always got something to talk about. It's never the off season for us. I'm excited after the combine. Shout out to Dino and Jared, hooking us up, grinding while they were out there. But I'm just excited to talk college football with you. Every time we talk, it's always a party. So let's get it.
Hey, I hope everybody is checking out all the content across the platform, CFB Nation and Tallest the Titles. Remember, if you like good clothing, home decor, all of that good stuff, make sure you check out bigfootsworld.com. Enter the code CFB Nation, one word, and he'll get you a 5% discount code. Always remember that. So, yes, this is a wonderful world of sports. You get like this mixture of, I'm not really an NBA guy anymore. Basketball is one of my earliest loves. So I'll box score watch, but that's about it. I don't watch any games. I got too much college football to get into.
But basketball, everything's going downhill quickly. I like John Morant. Then he got bopped with a gun on IG.
Yeah.
When Russell Westbrook goes from one LA team to the next LA team, I'm done.
Yeah. It's too much going on. And with it being combine season, it's kind of the purgatory for college football creators. You're thinking about it like this is about as close as we're going to get when it comes to the NFL.
Yeah.
We literally have to release these players in about a month and 21 days. These players are gone. We covered them and then vanished. There we go.
Let the doves fly.
Yes. And then a little bit before that, we got spring games, so the draft would just be secondary, in my opinion. So a little bit of what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about Chip Kelly's contract extension. Shout out to Chip Kelly. We're going to also talk about Elevate Sports, and things are getting real interesting. Me and Nino was talking a little bit in the green room. We'll get into more of that a little bit later. Also, some of these late transfer window players, I told Nino that I believe it's just the beginning. I'll tell you why when we get to that segment. And then also, combine risers. Every year this happens between combine and pro days. I don't know if it's fans. I don't know if it's media. The tape doesn't matter. Just all of a sudden, the tape just goes out the window. I don't believe what I've seen the last 3 years. I seen this guy in person. I seen him do some drills, and I think he is the guy. So
he can't catch. He's fast.
He's fast. He's fast.
He can jump through the ceiling, but he can't throw. But I don't care. I want him.
Right. It's just the way that it works. The combine is crazy. Of course, Coach got a name for it. I will not say it, but I think he's right though. And also, we're going to get into a little bit of Heisman hype. I'm interested to see where Nino goes with this, because I think Nino's a homer. I think a lot of times Nino just has people that he truly believes in. So I want to hear some of the deep sleepers that he has. So y'all get ready. I'm telling you, CFB Nation, we about to take off, man. Shout out to the guys over at Draft Nerds, man. Hopefully you guys were tuning into the episode that they did roughly an hour and some change ago. Killed it. Fire. They did the mock draft 2.0. So check out the content. If you're a Nebraska fans, well, we got you Tuesday morning, 10 a.m. every Tuesday. If you're Oklahoma Sooner fan, well, we got you every Wednesday morning at 11 a.m. If you're an Iowa Hawkeyes fan, we got you coming soon. And then me and Nino is doing something very special. We're trying to double up the amount of shows that you guys get a week, so we're going to make that happen for you as well. Nino, let's get into it. Let's talk about this Chip Kelly contract extension. And in order to fully tell the story properly, Nino, you go ahead, you get some of the specifics you want to talk about as it pertains to Chip Kelly, and then I'll get into some of the things that I would like to talk about.
All right. Well, they always say when you win, you get paid.
Yeah.
Right? So, 17-8 in the last two seasons for the Bruins. Chip Kelly's been doing his thing. So they reward him with a little extra bag. You know what I mean? He got an extension through 2027. He was scheduled to make $6.1 million, but he got a $300,000 raise this year. He'll make 6.2 next year, and then 25, 26, and 27 he'll also make 6.2. But what I do like about the deal, and we spoke about this on Friday with me and Jared, and we spoke a little bit about the extension.
Mm-hmm.
And Jared brought it up was Kelly's not greedy like a man out at A&M. Okay, to get rid of him, it doesn't take the world. If things aren't going south and they're not seeing eye to eye, it's $8.5 million dismissal. See you later. No problem, right? And if it's after 2024, I think it drops down to $4.5 million. So it's like, come on, Jimbo's at $60 million. You want to get rid of this guy?
Right.
It's impossible. But Kelly's proven that not only is it what have you done for me? He's looking towards the future. My man hit the portal hard. Okay, brought in 2 wide receivers and Michael Sturvant from Cal. Man, at 800 yards receiving, 7 touchdowns, 65 receptions. Got a guy out from Southern Cal, Kyle Ford, who had 400 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns, average 18 yards per catch. And then he brought my guy in. Yeah, I say he's my guy because I talked about this guy before anybody really even knew who the heck he was. I was interviewing this gentleman because I believed. I saw something and I believed. That's Carson Steele, who was a top 10 back in the nation last year out of Ball State. He transferred to UCLA. And I just see big things coming for Carson Steele. I think Chip Kelly deserved the raise, and I think he deserved the extension as well. And I think that both sides work well with each other. KT, what do you think?
I think a lot of times when you hear stories about people, a lot of times they'll talk about the rise and the demise. And kind of that's just how stories are told. Rise, demise. I think with Chip Kelly, it's kind of rise, demise, growth. Like, that 3 or 4 year span he had at Oregon was incredible. You talked about it. The struggles he had the first 2 seasons. I know he went 17-8 the last 2, but the first 2 seasons weren't great at all. He was 10-21. But every season he got better. And I think a lot of that just attributes to his time in Eugene, going to the NFL, and things. He was okay at first. I believe I have his overall record somewhere near me. He was 29-35, which is NFL isn't college football, so that record doesn't sound as bad as I think a lot of you will think. But to go through that, it's a humbling experience to grow from that, and then end back in LA at UCLA, and each year they get better. Shout out to Chip Kelly, he deserves it. And like you said, the buyout isn't a huge buyout. And if we think about the state of USC at that time, that he took over, it wasn't in a great state. You think about Rosen.
Josh Rosen, the bounce around man, who was considered supposed to be number 1 draft pick and probably threw about 27 passes in the NFL.
Yeah. So you think about that debacle, along with other debacles.
Hey, he got the best out of DTR, right? This was probably DTR's best season in collegiate football.
I would agree with that.
And the other thing that we haven't really mentioned is what happens in 2024 when the buyout is there. They go to the Big Ten.
Yes.
So if they are competitive and they're in the top 3 in the Pac-12 this year, right? And some other team wants them, it could be in the Big Ten, could be anywhere. He's like, all right, we did our thing. We're going to move on. We're going to let you move on, but it's not going to cost me everything, and it's not going to cost you everything. It's not going to be a struggle. We agreed it. They already, they kind of see that at this point it's a possibility. And I like the way it is. The program and Chip, they're not walking around with blindness on. They see what's happening. You know what I mean? So,
and I think that's incredible. And the fact that this year UCLA currently ranks 8th in the transfer portal. They got 1 4-star commit, 11 3-star commit. You see what Chip Kelly did with Charbonnet. Things didn't quite work out for him in Ann Arbor. Boom, he goes out to LA. Boom, and he's about to get drafted now. So, shout out to Chip Kelly. I think
he got Dante Moore away from Oregon.
How?
Well, Bo Nix coming back helped because Dante wanted to play. But still, you were able to take at the time he probably still is, but at the time he was a top 3. He's probably top 5 right now. 24/7 rankings, but he was a top 3 recruit, and you stole him. Right in front of him. You come with me, and he took his hand out and said, "Okay, I'm walking with you, Chip. Let's go." You know what I mean? Like, come on, Chip's doing his thing, and the program is it may not be being improved by leaps and bounds, but it's been improving slowly but surely every season. Last season for them, I think, was a good season.
Yeah. I think at the end of this past season, they ranked 21st in the AP poll. I think the highest that they've been ranked overall since he's been there. I think 9th in the AP poll this season. Yep. I think he had reached his highest 13th in the AP poll the season before. So we see the gradual growth of UCLA. My biggest question is come 2024.
Right.
Are the big 10 schedule makers going to be fair to these teams. Hey, you want to come play with the big boys? Are y'all going to be ready for 9 a.m. games like it's Pee Wee football again?
Well,
for Big Noon Saturday.
I think, and I have a serious belief that Chip and Dante sat down and says, homie, when you stop, it's going to be a different ball game.
Yeah.
You're ready, right? Because I brought you in here to be ready. So they know what's on the deal. And that's another reason why he went, you know. Oregon's not going anywhere next year. UCLA is. UCLA is going to be on TV probably every week if they're good, right?
And I'm sure you and I have both seen the concerns that people have for the Pac-12. People are legitimately worried about the Pac-12.
Yeah, that's why they're strumming. They're trying to get this 4-team addition by subtraction, right?
Yeah.
They lose 2, so they try to bring 4 in.
Yeah.
With Colorado State, SMU, San Diego State, who's going to be team 4? Who steps up?
Yeah, but you see the Big 12 is trying to command some area as well because they're talking about trying to bring the 4 corners over to the Big 12. That would be huge.
Yeah, that would be insane.
You have to put some respect on the Big 12 if they were able to pull that off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
If they're able to get.
It's a different. It's a different conversation.
Arizona, yeah, Utah. Like, come on, man, come on. That would be crazy.
But Apple just put their name in the pot, so money talks.
Yeah, money does talk. Speaking of money talks, let's get into this next segment. Nino, go ahead, tell us about Elevate Sports and how some P5 conferences went ahead and joined them.
All right, so I saw Elevate maybe 3 months ago pop up on the college football news, and I was like, what's Elevate Sports? It's not really anything, Big 12, Big 10 are involved. All right, I just saw it was like some kind of analytical thing, and that was as far as I went, right? And then this week I see the ACC, and I'm like, okay. If the next thing that comes up is a 3-letter word that says SEC, then we got a ball game.
We already know what it is.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So from what I read, I went to their website, did a little digging. They elevate to empower sports teams, leagues, venues to be more data driven, increase the accuracy. They want to be to increase the fan experience. And I said to you in the green room before I even talked to you about the fan experience, I thought this was a money grab, right? And then I started talking to you a little about it being it was a fan, driven thing, how it's supposed to optimize the ticket experience and the whole rigmarole, right? But all I hear is money. The fan spends the money. This is the strategy for sales and distribution, right? And now the ACC, who's complaining about what? Just had a guy in Florida State complain about the money, right? They're coming in, bringing a company to control the way the money is made. So this is not only a money thing, but this is the ACC's way of trying to save the ACC. Reallocate the money, try to get the red and the green. And if you can't get the red and the green, get it so that it looks like to the people that need to see the matches at B that the red is turned into green, right? And you're taking a step to it. Otherwise, it's going to be a as they say in the fantasy world, a team dispersal.
That's it. That's also when you look at this and you just look at optimization in totality, they just want to increase the seamlessness of everything, whether that's the consumer buying a ticket, getting into the stadium, easier parking, things of that nature. That comes at a cost.
You're paying for it, so that means your ticket's going to be paid into.
Yeah, it's just like people who use Instacart.
Right.
Hey, I don't feel like picking up groceries. If I gotta pay $10 more for me to get the groceries, I'm gonna go ahead and order those groceries. And Instacart even tells you, oh, since you've been using this app, you save 68 hours for being in the grocery store. And you look at that, you're like, oh, really? Yeah. So yes,
time is money.
Yes,
time is money.
Exactly. Time is money. But everybody, I feel like, as it pertains to P5 conferences, kind of go with where the SEC goes. From time to time, the Big Ten dictates things, but a lot of times is like you said, if the SEC joins this thing, then we already know what it is. But the product will be improved as far as ticket distribution. Concessions may even be easier. We're talking about probably apps.
Yeah, they'll probably have packages where you can buy like a 4-game package or something. You know what I'm saying? Or exactly. Whereas Apple, you order and you get whatever it is, you get a concession guy to come down and deliver.
At a cost. That's why convenience stores,
Yes, they charge more.
Yeah.
They charge more for the same pack of gum that you get at the market. Right.
And you and I both are avid gum chewers, so we know.
Here's so why I say it's a money grab. And then there's another thing I'm gonna get to real quick that just always sticks out to me when I see something like this. It's kind of like when a window company says that you buy that you got a sale, you buy 2, you get 2 free. No, they just factored all that money into the first 2 you paid for. Don't be dumb, okay? They would be out of business if they were doing that. So I read this line and it says, create efficiencies in ticket pricing, scaling, sales, and distribution. The ACC will work closely with Elevate Marketplace Dynamic Pricing Partners.
And people who don't understand this is just thinking, wow, look at all of these things that they're doing for us.
Big words. Yeah, it looks nice. You can shine up the turd, but it's still a turd.
It's still a turd.
Right? And when people put businesses, people, right? The horn tooters, they want to toot their own horn and brag. If you're an analytics company, right, what you put out should speak for itself, correct?
Mm-hmm.
The product that you put out is so good that you don't have to write in your description that you're 98% accurate.
Right.
You put that 98% accurate in there because you live in the 2% of inaccuracy.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel when people put that stuff in their description. Because companies that are analytically good, you don't see anything about how accurate they are. Everybody just knows that they're good.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times people look at that number as 98%, that's really good. It's only 2%. Well, if I told you that, hey, 100 of you can cross this bridge, right?
Yeah, right.
and listen, only 2 of you gonna die. Like you don't take that. You don't
2
take
out of 20. It's all right. Doesn't matter. It could be you. You could be one of the 2.
Right. Like, hold on. So you mean I could walk across this? Yeah. You'll look at it completely different.
So here's another thing that people don't understand. They word things really nice, right? Everybody believes when you're buying something it says military grade.
Wow.
But do you understand that military grade means it's the bottom of the barrel for the military? Like that military grade means that's the least that they would use is that grade. What they use is not that. Just letting you all know.
Perspective definitely matters. So, So I wonder how thus then. So this, of course, is a money grab for the universities. I don't want to say like this is the answer, or I don't want to say the answer. Maybe this is the response to NIL, but it's certainly a way that a lot of these schools and these P5, will be able to garner more money off of these athletes since they don't have rights over their name, image, and likeness. Yes, sir.
I'm knocking on. I have to debut.
Uh-huh.
You notice the people complaining about NIL are the ones that are giving the NIL to the guys that aren't performing. You're just trying to get names and numbers in.
Right.
I'm sorry, Florida State. And Mr. Mike, you're upset, Norvell. I understand. But we didn't tell you to give that bag to that kid.
No.
Right?
No.
You decided that's the kid you wanted to give the deal to, and this is where you're at. I don't see Saban complaining about, I got to go get an Elevate deal for the SEC because my NIL money's going to crap. Like, no, the NIL money you're giving, it's either performing or that dude's going to a different school.
Right. It's levels. It's 100% levels to this. Some schools got a pipeline. Some schools are relying on a couple of players, and once they're gone, then nobody's happy with the NIL money. So let's talk about this late.
Yeah. You want to be a pusher, there's levels to P. That's it.
Yeah. That's simple. That's a great line. That's simple. There's levels to P. So let's talk about some of these late transfers. Who did you have in mind?
I got 5 names in the dock. If you don't want me to say all 5, I won't. But I can run through them quick.
No. You can say all 5.
All right, so Boomer Sooner, my boy Boomer. I got a guy out here. His name is Bray Walker, offensive lineman for Oklahoma, 6'6", 356 pounds, big boy. He's a former 5-star, right? Coming out of high school, he had all the buzz, but his lack of mobility and quickness continually keeps him set back. Right? He's played 41 career games as a Sooner, but a lot of his time these come in has been when they're blowing him out or they're getting blown out. He entered the portal at the end of 2021, and there was nobody touching the water, so he came back. But some people say that it's just the opportunity. When you get the opportunity to seize the moment. Well, player, my boy Bray, you ain't got a better opportunity than right now. Because your starting tackle, Wanya Morris and Antoine Harris, they're going to the NFL. And they're probably going in the first 2 rounds. Okay? And so is Chris Murray, the other starting right guard. That's 3 starting offensive linemen that are gone. Right? Now, they brought in 2 blue chippers, and Caden Green and I always going to mess this guy's name up. Heath Ozeta. I apologize if I messed it up wrong. But they're going to be freshmen. This is your time to shine, my man. Get out of the portal. Stay home. I'm telling you now. You couldn't beat out these gentlemen in the beginning. You're going to go somewhere else. You're going to have to ball out to make them forget everything prior. You have an opportunity to stay home and do your thing. I think Bray Walker is going to be a gentleman. You're going to see pull his name from the portal because I think the opportunity is there.
It's difficult to do it at this time. I'll explain why in a second, but it's kind of difficult to do it. Especially most spring camps start in the next 9 to 13 days. Most spring camps. That's when they start. So you put your name in a hat now, you're probably better off just dealing with it, balling out in spring camps, and then making your decision.
Seize the moment. Yeah. Carpe diem, my man.
Yeah.
Show him what a 5-star was. Like, come on.
Oh, where's the competitive spirit? But go ahead.
That's what I'm saying. All right. I got so the next 1, 2, 3 gentlemen balled out. The next 2 gentlemen balled out in 21 and went ghost in 22. But I think landing spot late in this transfer portal will matter. Because the first round on the block is Chance Nolan, QB out of Oregon State, 6'3", 203. He only played 5 games last year, okay? But in 2021, he was 64% completion rate. He had 2,700 yards, 19 touchdowns, 10 picks. He almost had 300 yards on the ground and another 3 touchdowns. He knew he had no opportunity the minute DJU came in, okay? The gentleman that was there before beat him out while beating Oregon and only threw the ball for 57 yards. Still hurts my heart to even say that. If you couldn't beat that guy out, Chance, you lost your chance.
Yeah.
So, but I do think that the talent is there because you did it already. You had proven. You, whatever it may be, injury, you weren't locked in, whatever it was in 2022, you got to get amnesia, my man. Hit that portal, hit a team. Dude, it ain't got to be a big team. You can go to these G5s and ball, man. You know what I mean? You could go to, if you want to do, there's a couple teams in the ACC that I can think of that could probably use a QB.
For sure.
To push this, this party. The next guy, and we spoke about this guy in the green room. This guy, I think, it matters, especially in these next 2 visits, okay? Because he's got 2 QBs in these visits that I think can get this man the ball. Proven that with I almost said something I was going to regret because I don't want to. Everybody that's playing the college team is better than I ever could be, okay? But when you go from school to school to school in 3 years, 3 different schools, enough said.
It becomes the Tate Martell effect. We talk about that all the time.
Jackson Dart, Keaton Slovis, etc. But this gentleman is Gary Bryant Jr., wide receiver out of USC, 5'11", 180 pounds. I say Keaton Slovis because in 21, right, with Keaton Slovis as a QB, in 10 games, my man went for 44 receptions, 579 yards, 7 touchdowns, and averaged 13 yards per catch. Okay?
And that was a rough year for USC. So he put up some damn good numbers in a
right.
That was a very rough season for USC.
They begged. They threw Lincoln Riley 2 houses, a boat, right? Everything they possibly could after that season. Right. They said, "I'll pay for the house you just made. I'll make you a new house, and when that one's done, we'll put another house for whatever you want." So they needed it, and this guy balled out on a team that was not very good. Okay. That was with Slovis. Last year, he played 3 games, had 2 receptions, and says, you know what? I'm redshirting. Take this year off my book. It don't count. Now, this is where it gets interesting because on the 24th of this month, he's got to visit Texas A&M with the Aggies. Okay? You put Gary Bryant Jr. on the side of Evan Stewart with Connor Wegman throwing the rock around. If Jimbo's going to let that offense eat, okay, and take his hand out of the offensive department, we'll see.
You got to let the 12th man cook. Man.
I agree. And then on the 16th, and I talked to you about this. He goes to Eugene for a visit.
You think he leaves Eugene?
If he makes it to Eugene, Dan Lanning ain't letting him leave. He would be a third piece, okay? Because you have Franklin, you got Ducky, and you have Gary Bryant Jr. Bro, let this guy eat in the slot. Whoo, Bo would be just going wild. You want to talk about early Heisman candidate? You got 3 big guys. Plus, you'd still have Bucky Irvin in the backfield, Noah in the backfield, Ferguson at tight end. Man, that would be a silly, silly lineup. Another wide receiver I got in this transfer portal. He just entered. And I don't understand it. Because there's QBs in Mississippi State, okay? Will Rogers is coming back. I know Will Rogers is the odd man, the ugly duckling right now for some reason. I don't understand it.
It doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't make sense to me. But it is what it is. Mike Wright is there. Vanderbilt's QB. He's a little bit more mobile. He got a strong arm too. So they're battling it out for who's going to be QB1. But those guys can chuck the rock, right? Caleb Ducking at 6'5", 200 pounds is, I mean, that's the prototypical receiver you want. 6'5", 200 pounds. Bro, that would be perfect. But he's going for a 6th season of eligibility. They gave it to him because his first 2 years, he went to Holmes Community College before joining Mississippi State in 2020, right? Then he redshirted his first year with the Bulldogs. Played in 7 games in 21. Only had 9 catches for 83 yards. Last year, he went off, right? 46 passes, 477 yards, 8 touchdowns. Will found this guy. He was a red zone threat, and Rodgers was able to find him. I just don't understand why he entered late. But it is what it is. But you guys understand, like, Mekhi Polk left to go to the draft. You were going to be wide receiver 1 over there. So I don't know if the scheme is changing. If he don't like to switch from Rodgers to Mike Wright, if that's something that's happening, I don't know. But I think Caleb Ducking, some team, and I think it's going to be I'm getting an SEC vibe for some reason. I think Caleb Ducking is going to school in SEC.
Alrighty. We got tons of things to unload here.
Talk to me.
This Will Rogers situation, I think that
he's going to be talked about later.
I think he may end up in the transfer portal.
But where? Why didn't he hit the transfer portal when? See, this is what scares me. Because if I handed you on a platter with white sheets on it, Will Rogers stat sheet or Grayson McCall's stat sheet, no names. Who would you take?
Well, overall body of work, no names. I'm taking McCall. But
you know that Will Rogers is like 3% less completion percentage career-wise than McCall?
Yeah. But if you include, player A played in the SEC, you know what I'm saying, then yes, of course I'm taking Will Rogers. But if it's blind resume, all I know is just the stats. I'm taking McCall. Just because, I mean. He's one of the most polished quarterbacks in NCAA history if you just look at the stat line.
He is one of the most best completed QBs. Will Rogers is at like 70% for his career.
Yeah.
McCall's only 73.5.
Yeah, you've seen on Twitter. I'm a Will Rogers guy.
Will Rogers, I'm willing to say in the last 2 seasons, Will Rogers might have more passing yards than Grayson McCall.
That's probably accurate because McCall. He
didn't play last year. He got hurt.
Yeah.
And the year before, I think it was like a 3,200 year. The year before that was like 4,200.
Yeah.
He went off.
Yeah,
right?
He went bananas.
So, right. Will Rogers is Rodney Dangerfield. He don't get no respect.
No, he doesn't.
Puts up numbers, puts up touchdown numbers, puts up yards, wins games, and then they're ready to sell this dude down the river for nothing. Put him in a boat, put him in a little basket, and just let him go. See you later. Just let someone else take him. Why would you not have entered earlier when all the big guns are out there? It's just hard for you now to enter late to start being your last chance. That's the thing for me. Where are you going to go? You're going to go to a team that's hoping that there was an injury in the spring or hoping that the battle didn't work out the way that they expected and that guy wasn't as good?
There's a lot of people I shouldn't say a lot of people, but there's definitely teams. You mentioned it earlier. There are some teams in ACC that if Will Rogers went there, I don't care who QB1 is, they're taking a backseat to Will Rogers.
Auburn, fact.
Yes,
fact.
Automatically.
Fact.
But it just
Florida.
It just depends on the system that Mississippi State want to run. Because Mike
take
Wright,
Graham
I'm
Mertz?
telling you,
Graham Mertz or Will
dog.
Rogers?
Huh?
Graham Mertz or Will Rogers?
I'm taking Will Rogers every day of the week.
Oh, all right. Phil Jerkovich or Will Rogers?
I like Jerkovich. But I'm
that's
taking
my
Will.
guy.
I'm taking Will Rogers though.
I would take Will Rogers
There
as well.
aren't many quarterbacks that I'm taking over Will Rogers.
But if you
I'm
go
a
and look
fan
at the
of his.
rankings for next year's draft,
Mhm.
you're gonna scroll.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
gonna scroll. That's all I'm
He
saying.
said you're gonna
You're gonna scroll. It's just I've watched him. You're right. There's nothing eye popping, but the man knows how to throw the ball.
Yeah, he does. The bad games are bad, but
Yes.
they get blamed on him, but it isn't all on him.
Scheme matters, bro.
Right? It does. So
When you want to run the air raid, right?
You know what
You gotta
comes
live
with
and
that.
die by it. You live and
know
die
what
by
comes
it.
with that. If you're not getting completions, if you're not picking up first downs,
3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out.
right, and your team that had the ball in the first quarter until a minute and 30 seconds, something is wrong.
And you're down 24-0.
Right. Now we have a problem. So
Yeah.
here's the thing with this late transfer window, and I'm going to go somewhere and I'm going to bring it back. So the things that make a good agent in the NFL is the fact that he's able to be completely transparent with his client and that he has immediate buy-in from his client, but he's able to have a poker face when it comes to talking to media, have a poker face when he's talking to these NFL teams, making his client seem better than he is. That's kind of an agent's job. Where in college football, you got these guys that are getting a lot of money, but what they're missing a lot of time is that transparency. Their families are just happy a lot of times that this kid is playing Division I football. They probably, let's say
You get a scholarship.
Yeah, he got a scholarship. Like, I don't got to pay for the schooling. Go do your thing.
Go do your thing,
You know
darling.
what I'm saying? So I think a lot of times they don't have the right people in their ear to be able to make these sound decisions. Be like, okay, it's like double dutch. They're waiting to jump in when they should have jumped in a while ago.
Yep.
But there is a beautiful time of the year, right after spring camp, right after spring games, where things start to clear. Some of these coaches, not externally, but internally, will announce like, hey, this is our guy. You either with it or you not.
Yes. On the bus or get off.
Yeah. It's really that simple. So then that's when you'll kind of find, players who are entering that late window. And I think the late window, believe it or not, I think that's going to become a bigger thing than it has been in the past years. I will project in the next 2 years, it may be 50-50 because some people might want to try it out. Well, okay, I'm going to stick around. Let's see what we're doing. Things don't go well. Boom, they're going to hit that late window.
You know what they should rename it? The late window, it should be the Staples button. The panic button. Uh-oh.
Right. That's exactly
that
what
didn't
it
work.
is.
Uh-oh.
So Nino, here's my question to you.
Shoot.
So you talked about Caleb ducking, right?
Yeah.
Do you think he has an inkling that Wright is the guy, and he just probably don't believe that he can give him the ball?
That is my thing, okay? Because you look at Vanderbilt, right? I like Mike Wright.
Yeah.
Mike Wright isn't your prototypical QB.
No.
He also isn't he's a dual threat, but he runs first. You're right. When the pocket collapses and pressure's there, he's out. And when he's out, he's not necessarily looking to throw the ball first instinct, right? The progression is, let me get to an open spot. Okay, I'm already past line of scrimmage. I got to keep going. So I think they're going to go more towards a running or an RPO style. Ducking's like, yeah, man, that's not for me. I'm probably not going to do well. I came here to be an air raid so I could – I'm 6'5", 200 pounds. I just want to catch touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? And I just don't think the way that it's going – God rest his soul. Obviously, there's a changing of the guard as well. So I think that plays more into it too. You know what I mean? Like, Leach was big in the guys he recruited. He recruited him away from a community college. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody who was around Leach too, you know how sometimes, somebody may pass on, you feel like people are forced to say good things. I feel like everybody truly enjoyed being around Coach Leach. So that's interesting. Let's get into our next topic, Combine Risers.
All right.
Nino,
Yeah.
We talk about the combine, man. I said it in the opening. It's in basketball. I don't feel like you have this issue. I feel like football is kind of the main professional sport where, like, dog, it's just like, I seen your tape, but I seen him in person doing these weird skills, and I think he's good. Like, you know, it's very possible that Anthony Richardson will be the first quarterback taken in the NFL draft. That's crazy. That's crazy. And that's not a knock against him. I get it.
I am not.
I get it, but that's weird.
Yes. Athletic freak, fast, can jump out the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
He's shown that he can throw the ball, but he hasn't shown me that he can throw the ball consistently. And maybe that's part of Billy Napier's fault. Okay, didn't put him in the right system to win. I see this thing flying around, Kevin. I see you, Kevin Coleman, at the Boys 22, putting out there who had, you know, he's got his poll out there. Who had better weapons? Will Levis, Anthony Richardson. I'm not stupid, man. Will Levis had better weapons. And anybody who says that it's different, they didn't watch enough college football. All right. It's 1 year. I wish he would have stood for one more season. I get it. Like, he's gonna go get paid, so I understand. Okay. If it was one more year in there, and he developed a little bit more, I would say, yeah, this kid's got a chance, right? He could be the best thing since sliced bread. But what I will say is I'm not a Jalen Hyatt guy, but to play off your point about people just going like this, how do you say he had a bad combine? How are you disappointed with what Jalen Hyatt did at the combine? That's all on Twitter. It's not that it's me just blowing this out of my derriere.
No,
I see this every. Bro, he was fourth. Was he fourth in the 40? Right. He was first in the broad jump. He was fourth in the cone. Like, what did you want him to do? He won everything.
But Nino, it's expectations versus reality. I expected Hyatt to run low 4.3s. Low 4.3s. Like, you know.
Who ran that? Who ran that?
Who ran it?
All people?
Yeah, it was only a couple of people, but there was a lot of people going with, hey, he's the king of the busted plays. You know, like Alex Golish schemed him open. You know, it's just a bunch of things that Jalen Hyatt, but I feel like that is his name. Jalen Hyatt, but that's always a thing.
Jalen Hyatt, but.
So if you like, let's say you like Josh Downs, right? You be like, but dang, Jalen Hyatt upside, I'm thinking he's going to blaze his 40. Like, if he had ran the faster 40, of course, people would have been talking about, oh, yeah, I like Hyatt. But that's just the way it goes, man. Yeah, you know how it goes.
Yeah, I know.
The tape doesn't matter. The fact that he scored those touchdowns don't matter. He just didn't. Expectations.
Listen, I think he's talented, but you know where I stand on him.
Yeah.
But I will say I agree with Hendon Hooker though. Like, they want to knock Hendon Hooker, and this is and I will have to eat a little crow on this, because Hendon Hooker said he got knocked at, he doesn't go through progressions, and he goes, well, it's not my fault they can't cover my guys, and my first read's open. Right. So hey, maybe it's not Jalen Hyatt's fault that the guy in front of him couldn't cover him. Right. Or maybe the guy in front of him doesn't have as much talent as he does. But I know one thing. The guy in front of him in the NFL is going to be just as good or better.
Right.
That's all.
So, if anything, of course, I'm sure, you're looking at one point in the season, you're like, yo, if this guy blazes in a combine, we're probably looking at a first-round draft pick. He's a surefire second-round pick. And he still may get, if a team, get tempted at 30, 31 to take him, they still may take him.
Oh, yeah.
And then don't forget, pro days are coming up. He may run better at the pro day.
And then it's all forgotten. I don't remember anything from the combine. I got amnesia.
I seen Julius Brent's run. I don't think his time was bad, but his start was terrible.
Right.
It is what it is. So let's talk about your combine rises for a second.
I got 5. I got the first guy I'm going to talk about. I didn't get a chance to talk about him on Thursday because my internet told me to go pound sand. But my man Moon was able to talk about it for me. And it was just perfect timing because my boy Keontae Mitchell went bonkers.
He did.
At the combine. So if you didn't know about him, get off the train because I ain't letting you hop on now. Okay? My man was first in the 10-second split. 1 second, 0.48. Okay? In the 40, he ran a 4.37. Do I need to say that again? A 4.37. Smoke. Okay? 4th out of all running backs. He had a 38-inch vertical. 3rd out of all running backs. Half you people don't even know who he is. My man was in the top 5 in all combine statistical categories, and he is fast, okay? He is going to be a dude. You get him in an open field, he does work. I feel like he, coming into this, most people thought of him as a round 5 guy.
Oh, not anymore.
No, he's probably a late round 3 guy, mid of round 3. The speed is just speed. You can't teach speed.
We seen what happened the last time a speedster came from ECU. We seen the last time that happened. So,
thank you. Another guy we want to talk speed. Marvin Mims.
He surprised me. I'm not gonna lie, but Jared said he was gonna do well. So
I've been a Mims guy before I even did a show with Jared. Jared asked me who I liked from Oklahoma when we did the first show. I says I'm big on Mims. I love him. He's like, oh, he was all fired. Listen, the dude's body. I just did it. I play a profile, just shared it on my Twitter about Marvin Mims. Boy has the best body control in all of college football. I don't care if it's Q. I don't care if it's Addison. Marvin, go watch a couple of these throws and catches that he had. The catches, week 11, week 12, on the sideline, parallel to the ground. My man still caught the ball while the defender was in front of him. The game against Kent State, he caught the ball on the guy's backside numbers. The defender was staring at him in the face. He caught the ball hugging him. Like, bro, my man's body control is stupid, all right? And he's got wheels. His big knock was his size. Oh, his size, he's only, 5'10". Yo, when you burn and you have hands like glue and you can still jump a 39.5-inch vertical and do a 6.93 cone drill and come in 4th, 4.3840, bro, they don't care about your size. They find ways to scheme you open. Marvin Mims put himself in this round 2 wide receiver pick. Facts. Another guy. Everybody's talking about Anthony Richardson. Everybody's talking about Will Levis. Everybody's talking about Stetson Bennett. I'm going to talk about Tyson Bagent. All right? Half you guys don't even know what Tyson Bagent is. Coming out of Shepherd, right? My man holds the record for most yards, touchdowns, collegiately, right? He ran a 6.95 cone drill. Came in second out of all QBs, right? Wasn't the fastest to 40.
Why people don't like running a cone drill anymore? It's weird to me.
Half the running backs didn't even run the cone drill. Wide receivers didn't run it.
Why?
I don't understand.
I played running back and I had decent straight line speed, but I was more agile than anything. Like, why wouldn't you?
Look at Deuce Vaughn, bro. Because of his cone drill and stuff like that, what put him in. The fact that he's 5'6", I don't know if that's going to work. Right. But everything else is there. Mm-hmm. But Bagent came in second with the second hottest ball, right? He just had things that people don't even really talk about. When I was at the Senior Bowl, when he was throwing passes, bro, I was hearing that ball pop off these wide receivers' gloves. I think Tyson Bagent is a better QB than Stetson Bennett, and I think there's a possibility that he could get drafted higher than Stetson Bennett. This is my hot take for the day.
A couple of months ago, I'd have looked at you like you were crazy. But there's a few things in life as an adult where I'm from. I think accountability is a big thing. And I think that his agent probably convinced him to answer the questions that he was asked. Shout out to Bowman for asking those questions. I don't know if Bowman knows. That was everywhere. ESPN.
Oh, the Stetson?
Yeah, that question, yeah. It was everywhere. So, but I don't think he answered it with any accountability at all. And that's important to me. Accountability is huge. So, a couple months ago, I might have laughed at you, but seeing Bagent down in Mobile, Alabama, seeing what type of person he is, I bought into the person. And a lot of times, I can't help that. When I buy into a person, and I think a person is a great human being, I'm going to buy into a person.
So, I got two more guys. Mm-hmm. One of them, I'm going to save to the end because he came out of nowhere for me. But this gentleman, I was on the train. Moon was pumping him to me. But this is the guy. I'm like, okay, all right. And that's Yaya Dobby. On his Louisville edge rusher. He ran a 4.51 40. He had a 37-inch.
I couldn't believe he ran like that.
Bro, 4.51 40, he had a 37-inch vertical, which is fourth.
And
right?
he's a great person, too.
Yeah, he's a great human, exactly. Listen, this kid just keeps going up. Every time he's able to put his talents and what he can bring to the table on display, he just keeps climbing. I love it.
Organizations are going to love the discipline. He's a very disciplined individual. You can tell he had a great upbringing.
Yeah, when he talks, he speaks well. He's got the whole package, everything going for him.
I agree with that.
I think he's going to shoot up. I think he's a round 2 pick as well.
Mm-hmm.
This guy, like, we gotta talk about tight ends, right? I was all about Kincaid. That's my guy.
Mm-hmm.
I've been big on Laporta all year.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of started to get into the Payne Durham, Josh Weil, because the size of these guys, they're just giants. You know what I mean? It's a big target, throw the ball, and they can block. You want to talk giants and big targets? Zach Kuntz on Old Dominion? Wow. 23 reps at 225. That was first. 40-inch vertical. That was first. He ran a 4.55 40. He's 6'6". This dude is a giant of a man. He's first statistically at everything in the combine. We got an interview with him. Boom, talked to him. The way he handles himself. He asked him, like, if things didn't work out, would you be willing to transfer, move to a different position? He goes, hey, if that's what they needed me to do, I'm down to do whatever I need to do to make this football team, win and make things work. So the attitude is there. The numbers are there. I know that Shane told me about Kuntz a while back. Him and Tucker, I think it's Tucker Croft. And I was like, but as I watched a little more, Kuntz is a dude.
You search 2023 NFL Combine, Kuntz's name is going to come up somewhere.
Facts.
Period.
Yeah.
That's how great of a combine he had.
Mm-hmm.
And combine matters to these organizations.
Agreed. Who you got? Give me 2 guys. Give me at least 2.
Jacorian Bennett.
Ooh, Turpin. With Turpin.
1, the area. 2, seen him down in the Senior Bowl, and I was sitting next to Coach, and we were watching this guy, and I was like, who is this kid? He was killing on special teams. Absolutely destroying it on special teams. So the fact that he ran, was it a 4.31?
I want to 4. It was 4.3, but I think it was mid.
Was it mid?
Yeah, I think it was like the 4th one, 3rd one. He was above Banks by 1 spot.
He wasn't second?
He might have been second. Banks might have been 3rd.
Yeah. I think he might have been second. Well, either way, this guy could blaze. I'm not saying he's day 1. What you think? Maybe a late day 2, but more than likely a day 3.
Yeah. I think there's a chance what they saw this weekend could put him at the end of day 2. They're just the fact that the DB class is so
yeah, and that's what everybody talks. Any mocks that I've looked at.
Yeah, round 3.
We talked about, but I think this guy is just going to be willing to do anything to make a team, and he'll be a Pro Bowler as a special teams player. I guarantee you. Just loved what he did at the combine. Not only that, what we seen at the Senior Bowl was enough for me, but the fact that he blazed. And I seen him in person. I wasn't sure if he would run that. I knew he was fast. You just tell he was fast, but he blazed. And of course, I'm going to mention my guy. You knew I was going to mention my guy. A-Chain, right? So we talked about the 40 time. He ran a 4.35 the first time, and then a 4.32, something like that.
4.32 something.
Yeah. So, do you think his expectations versus reality match up? What people, I think if he'd have ran a 4.2 something, it might have helped him a little bit more, because everybody knew he was fast. It was like, oh, he ran a 4.32. How do you feel about that, Nino?
He's gonna go on the 4.3 as pro day.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that matters. I mean, he's fast as hell. Like I said, I loved him last year.
Mm-hmm.
I said he was better than Spill, and everybody told me I was nuts. I could go back and clip that if you guys would like. Coach will be one to testify for me. I worried a little bit about his inside game. I went back and watched a little bit more film. He didn't shy away from the inside game. He just knows when to get in and get out. He's not stupid, right? He knows his size. He knows what works for him. He can run in between the hash. But, man, you get in between the hash and you give him a lane, sorry. you ain't catching him.
How much is the antiquated scheme, though? Like, how much does that matter? Because that scheme is just like, yo, we seen that.
So the antiquated scheme, I get all that, but how many teams have that scheme that he fits? Half?
Right.
And the way the NFL's going now?
We took James Cook, right? We took James Cook in the 3rd round, was it, last year?
3rd, yes. Middle of the 3rd.
we knew he wasn't gonna be an every down back when we drafted him. But we looked at the upside of him being able to catch the ball out of the backfield, being able to put him in the slot, for him to be able to run routes out of the slot. You don't think somebody would take A-Chain in the second round?
Yeah, I mean, you could. It's so sick of hearing landing spot matters. I'm tired of it. Like, I feel like that's just a crutch for everything.
Yeah.
But he knows it. I know it. You know it. GMs know it. He's not a bell cow, right?
No.
So it has to go to a team that has a good O-line and a bell cow running back.
I mean, but there is something that he does that I haven't seen James Cook do. He can return.
Well, that'll get him on the field more.
Yeah, that'll definitely get him on the field. So as a specialist, I think he's worth a day 2 pick. I think he's worth a second round pick.
So you say that you guys drafted James Cook, not expect him to be a bell cow, right?
No, I don't
be a
think
bell
they
cow
thought
this
that.
year.
Nino, come on, Nino. You don't believe that. I know you've heard the rumors.
They've been trying for a long time, right?
Yeah, you haven't heard the rumors?
Derrick Henry.
Okay.
I know.
Okay.
I heard the rumors of Christian McCaffrey last year. And I heard the rumors of, the guy before that the year before. And I heard the rumors of the guy before Singletary. Like, I've heard it, but it never comes through.
Right.
For you to give up to get Derrick Henry, you're giving up. You're not filling in the other pieces that you need, correct?
That is somewhat correct. But we got to remember that the running back position is devalued.
The running back position is dimes a dozen.
Yeah.
So to give that up, to get a guy that's got about 100 miles left on the threads.
What are you projecting? Because how old is Derrick Henry?
29?
29? Right.
29.
Right. He's getting close to that scary number. And Tennessee don't want to pay him
coming
that type
off
of
a
money.
Foot injury.
So what do you think his value is?
What do you think his value is, or what do I think that people are Tennessee's going to ask for?
Yeah.
Because I'm not saying he's Christian McCaffrey.
What is
right? I'm not saying he's Christian McCaffrey because he doesn't catch the ball like that.
No.
So that value is off. But what did they give for Christian McCaffrey? That one's got to be in the mix somewhere, right?
Right. I think the time of the year mattered though.
Okay. So even if it's a second, it's got to be a second and something else.
Yeah,
You're not giving a second.
No, it's not. So it's not just a second. Yeah,
it'd be a second and say a fifth or a fourth, right?
And how many holes do you say the Bills will have? I think they're going to have one at the safety position soon.
One at the safety position. We're going to have one at the hybrid linebacker, whatever it is, because Edmonds is gone.
I agree with that.
You going to get another receiver besides Stephon Diggs?
I've been hearing rumors with him too. I hear you want to go.
No, that's because his brother put something out there. Brotherly love don't mean crap. I don't want to hear the brotherly love. Oh, Michael Parsons liked it. He's Diggs' teammate, dude. He's going to do whatever he has to do to get him there.
It didn't start from nowhere, though.
No, well, his brother, they do this stuff. They do this stuff all the time. You know, it is what it is. But I don't think he's going anywhere. He's happy as a clam with Josh. Okay? Yes, he was pissed off in the last game because he was like, I'm open, and you're not giving me the ball.
I was so upset when people were saying, why did he do that to Josh? He's open. Yeah. He always has Josh Allen back. But if he open and he not hitting him.
Wide receivers that are good are divas. It's just been like that since football's been is. Lynn Swan, the whole rigmarole. They all been that way, right? Yeah. If Diggs goes, I'm saying Diggs stays. You still need a complementary piece.
Yeah, you do.
Gabe Davis is more Jalen Hyatt is the broken play guy than I've ever seen. Okay, but some reason people keep buying in that Gabe Davis is going to have a breakout year. You can watch the movie 100 times. The ending never changes. It's the same thing.
I'm telling you as a football fan, because I don't play NFL fantasy. As a football fan, he is not it.
No, he's not.
I'm telling you.
He's not elite route runner, right?
No.
He does not pull away or separate.
No.
Most of the time.
He's not a natural catcher of the ball either.
No, he's not and if you look, he's not really a hands catcher either, right? He traps the ball a lot, which is terrible for a big body wide receiver.
Right.
I don't know where the hype was, but he scored 4 touchdowns in one game, and everybody went, whoa.
Right.
They need pieces. They're a great football team, but they have a lot of holes. To give up capital like that for a guy who could give you 2 years, I think you need to have all those holes plugged first.
You think so? I think
now, if you tell me they say, listen, I'll trade a 3rd-round pick this year and a 5th-round pick next year to the Chargers for Joey Bosa, and then I'll take my second and my fifth, and I'll flip that for Derrick Henry. All right, we got a ball game. Now we're talking because you're filling that edge hole and you rotate these guys through, right? You got your running back. Go get DJ Chalk.
You used the analogy earlier of watching the same movie. We've been watching the same Buffalo Bill movie for the last few seasons now. The inability to run the ball in the playoffs. How many times we gonna watch that?
Who lost that game? It wasn't the run game.
No. Defensively, we just couldn't get stops.
See, and that's what gets me.
Yeah.
Because we go back to watching the movie, but the problem is there's alternate endings to your movie.
Mm-hmm.
Every year there's an alternate ending. What was the problem in the season isn't the problem on why you lost the playoffs.
I think it was more noticeable because we seen Mixon didn't have the greatest season this season, right?
Who?
Joe Mixon didn't have the greatest season this season, right?
No.
Right. But we seen in the playoffs how balanced Cincinnati was able to be in that Bills game. That's how they beat us. They could have told us they played. We weren't gonna be able to stop it because it was just too damn balanced.
You got amnesia? Because I'm pretty sure round one of last year's playoffs, Singletary was balanced, running and catching.
As a fantasy guy, what do you rank Singletary as?
I don't like him. I don't like him in fantasy.
Okay.
But I'm not talking fantasy. I'm talking real life.
Okay, so real life, what do you like him? What tier of running backs is he in? I'll wait.
5. 5. He's right there with probably Miles Sanders. Right? But that's more of coaching. You don't use him. How is a guy when you lean on him? This is my problem. And I'm not saying he's great. I'm not saying he's better than mediocre. I'm not. But what I'm saying is when I see with my eyes, when you lean on a dude, when you lean on him, he delivers.
Right.
And then you shy away. This is what I had the problem with Jimmy in the NFC Championship game. And this is why I hate Kyle Shanahan, and I hate that he gets all the love. Brother, you made a decision that you didn't trust your guy, okay? And you were going to run the ball for 2 straight games. And then you weren't going to really pass the ball anything over 10 yards for the first half. And then in the fourth quarter, you're going to tell Jimmy, I need you to make the throw of your freaking life right now after you haven't thrown the ball for almost 3 games. Nah, bro, that's on you. Singletary, what did they say about running backs? You feed them early to get them in a groove. You cannot shy away from the running back till the third quarter and say, now I need you. Sorry, bro. Like,
no.
You know?
Singletary is
I'm
a
saying
weird running
playoffs.
back. He's good in between. He's good in between the tackles. He doesn't have that top end speed.
No, he doesn't.
We know that. But can he win you a game as an RB1? That is my question.
He has.
Wow.
He has. I'm not saying he's a dude. I'm just saying, that's your question? Yes, because he has.
So he can.
He's had multiple games where he won the game receiving and rushing field, where he had 2-3 touchdowns, 100 yards. Yes.
Wow. We'll be on here forever. What is the next topic? Because I don't agree with that, bro. Derrick Henry
you don't agree that he's won games?
He
for
will
you?
be a game.
You asked me, as an RB1, can he win you a game?
Yeah.
Has he won games for you? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
But how many games has Josh Allen
But
rushed more than him for? Like.
But whose fault is that? Whose fault
there's
is
a
that?
myriad. There's a myriad of people. There's a myriad of people that we can blame for that. Of course, we're gonna blame Dayball. Of course, we can blame Ken Dorsey. But at the end of the day, it has to be a trust factor, though. Nino, they didn't trust him to tote that thing 20 times. Why?
Who totes the thing 20 times?
Huh?
There's like 5 dudes that tote the thing 20 times.
Right, and we want one of them dudes. That's my point.
You want one of them dudes that are on the last year of his deal.
Man, I take Derrick Henry at 50%.
If you were telling me you were getting Javonte Williams, it'd be a different. What did Derrick Henry do last year that stood out to you?
Now, I know you're not answering that question. No, I know you're not answering that question.
Bro, I'm about to break out the stanky leg.
Who you have at quarterback?
What is the quarterback guy? Listen to me. No. We're not twisting this narrative, because when Derrick Henry was the king for 3 years, the same quarterback was there doing the same shit. We can't do that.
No.
I'm not
talking about Tannehill. But those previous years too, they had a numero uno at wideout as well.
Okay. and he was still doing it. I don't get it. What's the problem here?
Come on, bro. Malik Willis, who you proposed a question on Twitter not too long ago, right?
Well,
and you asked who was the better quarterback, Michael Penix Jr. or Malik Willis? What was the answer, dog? What was the answer, dog?
Michael Penix. But I just proposed the question, right?
So I have to answer your without all of the exteriors. I have to answer your question with integrity. You're correct. Absolutely.
That's all I want.
Didn't do a lot of things, but if you seen some what he had to see at the line of scrimmage, bro, what wide receiver you feel on that roster?
Bro, I think Burks is a dog.
No, he's going to be good, but I mean, feared that. Am I gonna worry about him or am I gonna worry about King Henry running that rock?
Yo, I agree with you. But did you hear AJ Brown when he talked about his time there?
What did he say?
He's like, I could have. Everybody says he went off, right? But he says I could have did everything, but it was King Henry. It was his team. So the ball went through King Henry when everybody was there. This is why I don't like the narrative.
Okay.
My man got the tires thread for 5, 6, 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
You are a bang-em, physical, knock the snot out of you running back that had Liz Frank surgery, bro.
I got a question for you, Nino.
At 28.
So, if the Bills are able to get Henry, of course they're going to lose valuable picks, right? You would project maybe a second and a fifth, something like that.
It's somewhere in that ballpark, I would think.
Somewhere like that, right? Is it possible for them to get decent player to fill the holes that you worry about in the third round, in the first round, or via free agency, where we know the value, the market value is way up? Is that possible?
It is possible, but it's one or the other.
Okay.
So, like, for me, your edge linebacker hybrid guy that Edwins was supposed to be, tried to be, whatever we want to call him, that role, and the wide receiver role, because free agency is super, super thin for the wide receiver.
Right. Agreed.
You would have to hit that, like, round 3.
Mm-hmm.
And we all have said, and all the analysts and everybody's saying, it's a heavy wide receiver class, but it's not alpha heavy, right?
Right.
So, like, you get, like, 3 alphas, maybe not even alphas, but 3 top tier.
Yeah.
Then that second tier is heavy.
That's accurate.
Mm-hmm. And then the third tier is just kind of like fill in the blank. So, like, in the third round, because we see runs, if a run happens in the second round, you guys could be butt cheeks in the third round to get a receiver that you need.
I would agree with that. Somebody that's going to come and provide immediate production, I would have to agree with that.
And that's why I said if you were to take a third or a fourth this year and a sixth next year and flip that to the Chargers for, say, a guy like Bosa, right? Who obviously we all know.
And you think he will go for that price?
What are they going to – bro, his value is down.
Yeah.
He can't stay healthy, right?
Right.
If he's going to go in San Francisco, that's got to be the tag because they ain't got much to give right back. So I'm just going by what I see is what you know, where in that ballpark.
What's realistic. Yeah.
And then if you were going to draft that guy, then that means you'd have to put all your eggs in that, like, DJ Chalk basket because he's kind of like the only guy I think that would really work for you.
Mm-hmm.
Eggs in one basket can get hectic.
Yeah.
So
I like where you're going there. Give me a couple guys for Heisman hype.
You ready for this? Because none of these are my guys.
Mm-hmm.
I got 2 of them and not a single one of them. They're quarterbacks.
Right.
One of them's your guy.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Travis.
Huge Jordan Travis fan.
The best. Florida State had the best season since 2016, and that all pretty much had to do with Jordan Travis.
Mm-hmm.
Among Power 5 quarterbacks, only Caleb Williams and Drake May had a better high grade than Travis at 90.6.
Wow.
Which people don't even realize, right?
Mm-hmm.
Running back says, I'm coming back. Travis Benson's back. Johnny Wilson, Micah Pittman, back. Johnny Wilson just burst on the scene last year, right? Big boy, 6'7", catching touchdowns everywhere. Travis says, I need another target. You got it. Norvell says, I'll go get Jaheim Bell, tight end for you. You want a safety blanket, homie? I got it for you. They're loaded at every position. They got Akeem Williams coming in as a 4-star recruit, wide receiver position. They have like depth at all positions. They have a good O-line. We all know, Florida State's defense has been good at secondary. It's always loaded. They have guys and dogs always in the secondary. That's what they do. I think Jordan Travis is going to be in that talk this year. For your Heisman, he's going to probably be in that top 5. If the loss of Josh Downs, I know he's got the gentleman coming in from Kent State, right? The wide receiver coming to UNC. But if the loss of Josh Downs, the loss of Dre Bly, right, being there, changes the program a little bit, Drake May could take a step down. Jordan Travis could step in that slot behind Caleb Williams. But Caleb Williams, I got into the conversation with these two gentlemen because I respect the hell out of them. That's Reggie Q and Felix Shop. They were talking about this gentleman. And I had to chime in because I just did the Washington Huskies breakdown with Jared. And that goes by the name of Michael Penix Jr. Reggie Q asks, can they go 10-2, 11-1? And Felix, says they can go 11-1. They go 11-1, and Penix is going to be in the Heisman talk because he has some of the best wide receiver, top 5 wide receiver duo in all of college football. You got Romeo Oduze, Jalen McMillan, and you have Jalen Polk, who people forget about. Okay, but those aren't the guys that I think is going to help Penix get to the next level. They're bringing in Mississippi State running back Dylan Johnson. But not only is he a phenomenal running back, right? They had 48 receptions last year. As a running back, 48. For like 600 yards. It was 5-something. Bro, that's a dude. Now you're giving Penix a weapon out of the backfield that can catch. Man, I just have a funny feeling that they're going to be right there. They play Oregon at home. You beat Oregon at home? In the Pac-12? You get to play USC? And you beat USC and Oregon at home this year, bro. They're at 10-2 or 11-1. They will put Michael Penix in that Heisman talk to the point where if he beats USC at home, right, then you would have to put him above Caleb, right? Especially because the records are probably going to be almost identical at that time. Penix had 25 big throws. He was tied for the 4th most in the Power 5 conference last year. 25 big time throws. You know what I mean? Like that's when the heat is on and you need it. He did it.
He delivered. Yeah.
The system works for Penix. The talent is there for Penix. They're returning 3 starting offensive linemen. I think Michael Penix and Jordan Travis are going to be in this top 5 group for Heisman talk.
I think you nailed it. If it's one betting deep sleeper, I think Jordan Travis is that guy. But I believe both of them will either be in the top 5. If not, then Travis will probably be at 6th or 7th outside looking in. So I think, and I know you don't want to hear me say this, I think Bo Nix is the guy that if I'm betting money on now to win the Heisman, I'm betting on him. Just because of the production that he's able to give you with running a rock, where I think we all knew he could run a rock. I don't think we knew how well he could run a rock. And his ability to just make plays, extend plays and then make plays. You think about those Heisman moments, like you think about the Baker Mayfield, you think about the Kyler Murrays. Players is able to, quarterbacks able to extend plays and make plays. Bo Nix, I think, in my opinion, for my money, of course, Caleb Williams would be at number 1, but I think the guy that should be at 2, where a lot of people think Drake May should be at 2, but I think the guy that should be at 2 is Bo Nix. Watch out for him. You just look at the talent around him. I think he's going to be able to do a lot. There's a guy in Lexington, Kentucky.
I just talked to him.
A lot of people, I think he's going to have, they forgot about Dre moment. I think next season, with Cohen being back, I'm telling you right now. And they just got, what's the kid name? Ramon Davis. How you say his name?
Ramon Davis.
Yeah. Ramon Davis at running back.
Vanderbilt.
I'm telling you now, watch out for Devin Leary. A lot of people forgot what he can do. So that would be my dark horse. If I had to pick a dark horse Heisman guy, Devin Leary would be that guy.
I couldn't. Those were my teams.
Right. I know.
So I had
to say it for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, everybody will say, he's a homer. No. So I try to go out of pocket.
I'm telling you, Devin Leary's numbers are going to blow Will Levis's numbers out the window. I'm telling you that now. And it's not fair, but it's just what's going to happen.
Yeah, listen, I honestly think that my guy's going in the first round, so I don't really care. Now I have a funny feeling he's gonna end up with the Raiders.
Mhm.
I guess it's the way it's looking now. But if you gave him a second season with Cohen, I'd be knocking you guys off the block to try to talk to me about Will Levis.
Right. He would light the college football world on fire. But the thing is, it's a great question though. It's just like the question that you said you had with Reggie Q. Can Kentucky and the SEC get to 9 or 10 wins? That's the key. I feel like 10 wins you're safe. 9 wins you have to have a hell of a season.
There's no parity in the SEC.
Right. At all.
It's time for parity.
It could happen. Especially when the boys from the Big 12 come in.
Yeah. We'll see. It'll be interesting. I think he's gonna blaze. I hope the Peck's good. If the Peck's good, he's gonna throw rockets.
Yeah. Hey man, shout out to everybody who's watched this episode. We've had a lot of people in and out of here. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to Mason. He's over in the RFL. I seen him in here, big Kentucky fan. Shout out to him. Shout out to Joe Clark. Shout out to Moon. Shout out to D. Now, shout out to everybody who makes this show what it is. Also, shout out to everybody who not only watched what happened with the Draft Nerds mock draft 2.0 earlier, but who stayed and watched this show. We're trying to provide premium content, so make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. As I always like to say, do something nice for somebody you normally wouldn't do. Always pay it forward. Peace and love, peace and blessings, and until next time, one.